Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and it's the 2nd of March 2022. Our format as usual is going to be first with the news articles, and then we're going to talk about the Nasdaq and the VXN. After that we'll look at technical analysis. So that's the format. Let's get started.
COVID-19 hospitalizations and test positivity rates continue to drop across the country. Many provinces have started easing COVID-19 measures. Today, in fact, Ontario is dropping most of its pandemic rules. Proof of vaccination will no longer be required at most restaurants and gyms and movie theaters. Capacity limits for sports and concert venues dropped. So teams like the Senators, Maple Leafs, Raptors, they can play in front of full arenas again. And settings where capacity was limited based on social distancing, including, retail shops, grocery stores, that requirement is now lifted.
But they revised the January payrolls to a positive 509,000 from a negative 301,000. Unclear what to do with that. In any event, the goods sector in February up 57,000. Services a very strong, really Omicron rebound number, 417,000 in the service sector. And there's the non-farm payroll estimate for Friday for both government and the private sector at 440. So ADP, at least in this case, is in line. Looking at the situation by business size, a really interesting situation going on there. Small business losing 96,000 jobs. Medium business up 18,000, but large business up by more than 500,000. This might be telling you that it is large businesses that are able to pay the higher wages and benefits that employers are demanding, and small businesses losing ground. We'll have to follow up on that, but that is a very interesting development. Looking at by industry, leisure and hospitality up by 170,000, and that's the kind of rebound you'd expect if we were coming back from a shutdown or a slowdown from an Omicron wave or from the virus wave. Trade transport up 98,000, professional business services up 72, education health services 40, and manufacturing having a good month up 30,000. Now, I just want to, it's unclear what to do with ADP. It's had huge errors, by the way. The BLS, the official count, has had huge errors too during this whole pandemic. So I rely on the high frequency data, and we did get a report from Homebase, which does back up the idea of strength in the labor market. Homebase saying on February jobs, nearly every top 50 metropolitan statistical area saw month-over-month increases in employees working and hours worked. The report is otherwise very strong relative to January.
So as you saw in the two preceding clips, one from Canada and one from the US, it seems to me that people have been able to overcome their fear of Omicron, or that Omicron really has subsided and it's not impacting people as much. And also that the economic systems have started to work around the Omicron limitations. So we are seeing that state after state in Canada is removing all the restrictions, which means Canada is coming back into business. We are also seeing that in US, many states have already removed restrictions. So given all these things, we can expect, as shown in the labor report also, that there is going to be a rebound in the hospitality sector, in the retail sector, which were severely hit. And also you are seeing the employment numbers ticking up. It's all going to lead to a very, very strong rebound from the economy. But this time from the demand side, there's going to be strong demand that is driving the markets. And in my opinion, as the time goes by, people are going to reconcile to the fact that the demand-led growth in the economy is very strong, because all the people who are employed now, the additional people, they are also going to spur the demand. And as the supply chain bottleneck starts resolving itself and companies are able to start meeting the demand to a fuller extent, the inflation pressures will start dropping down. And many of the companies that we see now, especially consumer durables and consumer discretionary, all of them are going to have sterling performances to report by the end of the year. So I think we are closer to the bottom of the market at this point of time. We still need the Ukraine-Russia issue to be resolved, and we have to see what the Fed chair is going to say today. So there we have Chairman Jerome Powell being grilled by the House. So we'll revisit this later. If possible, I'll put a video with just bullet points on our takeaways from this particular meeting and how the market reacts. Let's go on with our technical analysis of the VX and Nasdaq and see where our biotech shares are headed today. So here we are with our favorite VXN chart, and it seems that the new trend line that we drew a few days ago, this thin green line out here, this seems to be the new support line. I'm just going to thicken it out a little bit so that you can see, and I'm going to remove this old line from here because it's no longer valid. Let us keep our chart as clean as possible. So now this is kind of acting like a support line for now, and as a result we can see today, if you look at the candle, it's very thin, it's concentrated in the middle, just almost a doji candle. There's a little bit of push towards the bearish side. The MACD is picking up and the momentum is slightly flat but still above average. So VXN is looking a bit angry, but not so much as it has been in the last few days. So let's hope for the best out here. Our next support for the VXN is going to be the 9-day EMA, which is the yellow line out here. And if you look at the Nasdaq, it's almost flat. It's at negative minus 0.1, and let me just pull this a little to the side. Minus 0.5%. So that's a very, very small drop, and we still have this red line out here, which I had drawn earlier, connecting all the higher highs of the Nasdaq. So that's going to act as a resistance for us, but the immediate resistance is the 9-day EMA, followed by the 20-day EMA, and then this diagonal red line. And our support happens to be at 13,329.77. Our MACD is bullish, but it's running in parallel to the signal line, and the momentum is weak. So overall it's not looking good right now, but things can change very fast because it's a volatile market and a lot of unfolding events, including the Russia-Ukraine crisis, which can anytime give a positive or a negative stimulus. So let's hold our thoughts on that. Let's go and look at our biotech sector shares. So as usual, I'm going to sort this. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 shares are in the positive. Out of these 6, Pfizer and Novartis are established companies, and Regeneron, which already have regular income streams in their balance sheet. So that's not something that's going to indicate how our entire CRISPR stocks are going to do. But when we look at the entire CRISPR segment, it's all in the red right now. And if we look at CRISPR Therapeutics, especially after the big hit it took with the IP verdict going in favor of the Broad Institute, that hit is going to continue on top of all the volatility that we are seeing. But overall, my thoughts are that there is some positives out there. I read a particular news article from where Zhang from Broad Institute was talking about the IP conflict, and I would like to read you a quote that he had mentioned. So we'll just briefly step out of this trading view. So this is the article which has come up in science.org. It says CRISPR's Nobel Prize winners defeated by in key patent claim for genome editor. And if I go down through this article, there is a statement that I have seen out here. In a statement, Broad noted its powerful patent position as the PTAB and US federal courts have repeatedly established the claims of Broad's patents to methods for use in eukaryotic cells, such as for genome editing, are patentably distinct and not reasonably expected from results of biochemical test tube experiments. The statement says, and Broad stressed that it long has sought a joint licensing agreement with the CVC to end the costly patent battle. So this is a very, very positive approach from Broad Institute, and I think sooner rather than later CVC should accept this and merge their patent ownership, and that will give a lot of relief to companies like CRISPR Therapeutics and all. However, of course, it will dilute the importance that Editas has got right now, but overall it will be a much more democratic playing field. A lot of competition among various companies is likely to lead to less expensive treatments and much faster progress with discoveries and bringing therapies to market. So that's my thought. Now let's go back again to look at the VXN and our broader indices. So let's come back here to look at Pfizer. The very first stock out here is Pfizer, a gain of 2.73%. Since it's a mainstream pharma, big pharma, I'm going to let it go. Let's look at Intelia, 2.03% gain, and the MACD is turning bullish, and the momentum is just about picking up. So overall, it's very difficult to say where it's going right now. If the momentum continues to pick up a little bit more, then we can see the MACD turning towards the signal line and turning to be bullish. But overall, we are within a bearish channel, which is seen by this green and red line. So we are traveling within it. So our next support happens to be at this green line, which happens to be on 75.92, and right now we are at 81.61. So that's where Intelia is today. Let's look at Vertex. Vertex is up 1.18%. I would take that any day. So 1, 2, 3 consecutive days of upward movement is welcome. We have got the support from the 100-day and the 50-day EMA, and we have now added the support of the 9-day and the 20-day EMA respectively. Our next resistance is at 234.58 for Vertex, and we can see that the MACD is starting to move towards the signal line. I know that because our histogram bars are becoming smaller and lighter in color, and also the momentum is picking up. So that seems to indicate to me that we are going to challenge the resistance at 234.58, which is the red line, before the end of the day today. Right now we are at 233.42. Let's go on to Novartis. Novartis is up 0.61, but I'm not going to do much of an analysis. It's on a consolidation mode. And it's a big pharma company, so it can take care of itself. Let's go on to IMTX, which is up 0.78%. That's around 6 cents. The MACD is again bearish, and it's below the all-time low for the MACD. The momentum is slightly picking up, but it's absolutely weak. So nothing great in store today for IMTX. Regeneron is up 0.40%. Again, Regeneron has got good revenue streams. It can take care of itself. I won't dwell too much on it. It's in a kind of a consolidation phase right now. Bluebird is at 0.75% positive today. It's put on 0.75%, and I think the results are due later today. We'll see whether it happens to be a catalyst or not. The momentum is very weak. The MACD is bullish, but it's absolutely weak right now. So I won't hold stock for much on this unless the earnings turn out to be a catalyst. Illumina is down -0.57%. It's constrained by the 20-day EMA, which is the orange line. It still has got support from the 9-day EMA, but that's being tested right now. The 9-day EMA is at 327.95, whereas the price of this stock right now of Illumina is at 328.37. The MACD is bullish, and it's improving, as we can see by the improving size of the histogram, but the momentum is not picking up. So that's my major concern. So everywhere the MACD needs the support of the momentum in order to keep going up. So with lower volumes and lower momentum, the price action is exaggerated downwards. That has been my experience. So it's not looking great for Illumina right now. Verve is down -0.39%. That's around 12 cents. Again, for Verve, we are expecting the results today, and let us hope it's a catalyst. When we look at the MACD, it is bullish, but we can see that it's tending towards the signal line because the MACD histogram has become a smaller bar and a lighter bar. That shows the approach of the MACD towards the signal line. It's not a good sign for us here, and our momentum is also flat, slightly above average, but flat. That's also not good. So Caribou Biosciences is down -0.75%. Again, we are looking at earnings today. Let us hope that turns out to be a catalyst. MACD is bearish and the momentum is low, so nothing good for Caribou today except for potential results. Allogene is down minus 1.28%, and people have already forgotten the positive earnings, and we are inside this bearish pennant. So anytime now we are going to start falling down below this long red line, diagonal red line that has been a support for us all the while. So that it's not looking good for Allogene today. Editas also not looking good with a minus 1.49% drop from yesterday. The MACD is looking bullish, and the momentum is slightly below average, and it's kind of falling down if I look at the RSI chart out here. So that's not looking good for Editas. And let's go on to CRISPR, minus 0.97%, and that's the drop in CRISPR. It's gone to minus 1% while we speak. The MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. It's not good, and we are looking at the momentum also falling. That's also not good. The day is not looking good for CRISPR. RG is down minus 2.53%. The MACD is bullish but it's tending towards the signal line, just like CRISPR. All those indicators are not looking good for ARCG. Let's go on to Beam Therapeutics. It is down minus 3.88%, and our MACD is bullish but it's tending towards the signal line, not looking good. Momentum is also falling, not looking good. And our next support is going to be at 70.08. So I'm going to mark this as a support so that we can look at it tomorrow. And the support after that is at 65.12, and I'm going to mark that also as a support out here. So we are likely going back to where we were before. And if you look at PSCB is down minus 5.10%, and the MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is also falling, so it's not looking good for PACB. I'd like to go back again to Nasdaq just for a quick look to see what it is doing right now. So we can see that the Nasdaq has picked up a little bit. Let us go off to a 1-year time frame, move out, and let us see what is happening here. So I'm going to draw a channel out here, which is a bearish channel, and that will help us to visualize if we are breaking out of the bearish channel or not. So I'm going to turn this color into red for resistance, and then let's go on to mark another channel out here, the downside. So we put this here, and I'm going to turn this into a green color line, showing this to be a support. So this is the bearish channel on which we are, and if Nasdaq manages to break through the upper bounds today, then we'll have a hope of seeing us getting into a potential bearish channel possibility. Otherwise things are not looking great. So that brings me to the end of my presentation today. I hope you would like this video and put a like there if you did, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and join our community for everything about CRISPR. And with that, I'd like to say bye to you today. Potentially I might come back with another video later today talking about what Fed Powell said today, and some bullet points on what it means for us and what it means for CRISPR shares. So stay tuned for that. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.